Hello, interwebs. He's back. Ugh, a random stream today. I just felt like I needed a stream. What could I do? You couldn't. I couldn't stay away. Where am I looking at here? If I do this, I will be with you, will I not? Hello, hello. I'm back. Look at that. Wow. Yeah. Wow. What a day. I did my filming yesterday. I would normally be doing a Tech Bandit today, but unfortunately, because the kids are at school, unfortunately, the kids have gone back to school, and I don't want to do an after school on a Friday because I know, that sucks. Who wants to stay and do things where you might learn something after school on a Friday? So, I thought I would move it to Monday. So I'm gonna try Monday after school for Tech Bandits, Wednesday after school for Game Bandits, and then chat with you folks in between. How's that? Mmm. I got my little coffee mug, which I'm hoping is going to stop me from spilling things. It's got a lid, and I can seal it, so I won't actually, keep spilling things on keyboards and things. Let me go see, make sure everything's working here. All right. Who am I here? Where am I today? Oh my God. I'm like operating through a fog today. Had a great day yesterday, but a rough day on set. I got to say, it was a lot of smoke and dragging people around, and I earned my keep yesterday. Hello, classic rock cad. Classic rock cad. I love it. John P7, how are you, sir? Cal, of course. How are you, Cal? I'm feeling very melancholy today, Cal. Well, fancy meeting you here, says Jaws Matt. It is a strange coincidence, isn't it? I thought I'd stand today in the hopes of actually, staying awake. I'm good. I'm good. Bad sleep though. Bad sleep, and had some sort of school concerns. Apparently, very much like his father, Baz is a big fan of talking, and has been doing a bit of that in class apparently, and I don't know, just a general. I when we first had a kid, I always worried that the kid was going to be like me, and I didn't finish high school, and I was terrible in school. I was an awful student. I was interested, but not in school. So the weird thing is, like, I'm a lifelong learner who just absolutely hated education. So I was worried that Baz would be the same. Even worse, I'm worried that Baz doesn't have that same sort of passion that I had. I was always very lucky because I wanted to be an actor all my life, and I worry that maybe it's a bit early. He is only 13. He turned 13 on 12 on Tuesday. So, but I worry a bit. I worry a bit that he doesn't have that. I feel sorry for anybody who doesn't have that thing that they love, and mine was always acting, and well, it was acting and technology for that matter, but the acting was what sort of paid the bills, weirdly. We got Mechberg, we got Miss Lintz, we got Azenis, we got Bob's 381, we got Pac Mom. How are you, Pac Mom? Pac Mom understands. She's got kids. Sometimes you get a bit worried about them all. A Musek, hello, Musek. Let me see anyone else. Jaws Man, we got Cal. Yes, and Loviak. Loviak, I like that. Hard not to smile when you're talking to Loviak. Turtle Princess, another one. Joan X27. Cal says, I got bad attitude notes all the time for making my classmates laugh and talking too much. Oh, Cal, yeah, you and me both then. Yeah, I was the same. So around exam time, just before exam time, all of the desks around me would suddenly be empty, and all the kids would have moved to the front of the class because and I was actually said with it. I was like, "What's going on? What, did I miss something? What's?" And one of my friends said, "Oh man, I love you. I'm not going to pass my exams if I'm still talking to you." And of course, I never passed my exams, and never. I always wondered why anyone actually was concerned about that. But other than my parents, but the kids apparently they actually wanted to learn at school and they wanted to get good marks, and so they avoided me at the time. I'm not doing ASMR. I'm just trying to. I think I've just broken my new cup. Oh dear. Well, that's what the heck. My Keep Cup. Hey, Keep Cup, what's going on? How did it break? How did I break you? I have broken you. Yep, no, I broke you. Well, there you go. That'll teach Jane for giving me anything. There is a saying: "Find what you enjoy and be the best at it, then monetize it." Oh, that's interesting. That's a good way of putting it. I loved acting. I did it as much as I could. I did it for free a lot to start, I guess, with friends for free. I mean, we were just working together on little films, and then when the jobs actually started, when the auditions started happening, I did quite well with it because I'd already been doing some acting, right? So thank you, Third Eye Storytelling. We are all as good, as I say, a little melancholy today, a little trying to work some stuff out. And I thought, who better to discuss, my entire life with than everyone here. History is the only class I was ever quiet in. Uh, I liked certain parts of history. I find Canadian history very dull, I've got to say, or maybe what they focused on. Um, you know, it was a very sort of settler government approach to history. So it was all about how wonderful we were. We showed up and we gave the indigenous people all these wonderful things, including the smallpox, and all the great treaties that we had, and all this kind of stuff. And of course, now you realize that it was all just it's all just propaganda, basically. What do they say? History are the lies told by the victors. I thought that was a wonderful quote. I don't know who said it, but I think it's so fantastic. But of course, we didn't know back then. Back then, we were like, well, no, it says it in the book. We won the War of 1812. Got to have happened. And that, it was. I mean, look, I think it was the history that was available then, and the one that we were interested in, I guess, or the people were interested in presenting back then. So I would have tried acting if I could speak good English. Very difficult, if not impossible, to earn good money in my country. If I could act and do several accents, that would be awesome. Well, Rosewell, if you want to get into acting, first off, act in your own language. You don't have to act in English. And also, in fact, in a way, I think now an advantage to having that niche. If that is I don't know what your first language is, or your primary language is, but if you can speak to your community, to your nation, if that makes sense, you can make a very good living just being a part of that community. And I think what's wonderful now is we've got tools like this where you can have your own talk show. I'm basically having my own talk show. It doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, I've spent a bit of money now, but only because people have been wonderful and helped me out with Tech Bandit donations and stuff. Yeah, I would say if you want to act, I always feel like this. It's never too late. You may not make a huge amount of money doing it, but if it's something you love doing, it's something that's very much available to people now. I mean, there's all sorts of student films and uh, there's some commercial work, I guess. There's non-union stuff that you can do. But honestly, for me, I tell everybody to just get on YouTube or something. Start making stuff if you can, if you're interested, and you've got the time. Then definitely do that. But yeah, don't wait until you got several accents before you start acting, because that's sometimes they need accents, sometimes they don't. I don't like doing accents. I feel like it somehow gets between. I find for most actors, or for many actors, the accent gets between them and a true performance. So I try very hard not to do accents unless I absolutely have to. So, um, Murdoch, you. Okay, now I've been a good patient, polite Swede for 11 years. Not nagging, not cavilling, not griping, but I had enough. Just tell me when Stargate's back, and I hope Rodney will be in charge. Yeah, I'm with you. I am totally with you. I don't know. I would love to know when it was back. And I'd love for it to come back, and I'd love for it to be called Stargate McKay. And there you go. Web-based stuff is great to build a portfolio. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, and also just to get your sea legs, get your acting sea legs. I mean, you get used to talking to people and dealing with people and thinking on your feet, literally in my case. Although I don't do a lot of thinking. Greetings and salutations to all from Puddle Jumper. Evolution 219 says web-based stuff's great for portfolio. Yes, indeed. Accents like Carl Urban come on, Cal. Do you like Carl Urban's accent in Boys? No. Do you? You don't, do you? I think it's ridiculous, and he should have just used his old accent. I don't understand why he's not using. He should just used his own. Again, I feel that gets between me and an actor that I really like. I love Carl Urban's. I think a fantastic actor, but I think the accent is it gets in the way of the performance for me. Severe stage fright. Used to win 4-H speech contest, but at state level I freeze, speak very silently. Well, Die Titan, that's the beauty of the web, is that you could do this. First off, you can record it in advance and put it on YouTube if you want to. Or do this, just practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it, right? Well, hopefully. Or in my case, the more you do it, the worse you get at it. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of people just trying stuff out. I think this is the funny. No, you think it's hilarious? I mean, it is hilarious, I guess, but it's just it just seems, I don't know, weird. Scripted podcasts are good as well. Placing projects on Apple, Spotify, and more can also help generate a little bit of cash as well. Third Eye Storytelling. Yeah, Third Eye Storytelling knows about this because Third Eye Storytelling is doing this as well. So, Murdoch, question for you: are you a Murdoch fan? Um, that name is that something to do with like Murdoch Mysteries? Nagging, carping, nagging. What is caviling? Caviling? I don't know. Caviling. That's a word I don't know. Gripe, according to Google Translate. That sounds good. I know carping. I know nagging. I know griping. I don't know caviling. Cavilling. Is that his accent? No, Australian llama. It's not his accent. What if McKay was Scottish? Ugh, ugh. It'd be a disaster. I'll be like, hey, Fumbles McStupid. Yeah, I'd sound like a bad, characterization on The Simpsons or something. I'd be like the janitor, you know. Och, och, no, it's a gate ship, not a puddle jumper. Why don't we call it a gate ship? Yes, I'm terrible at accents. Go check out the Expanse season 5 trailer. Oh, really? Why am I doing that? Why am I checking it out, John P7? What do you got? You've done your own part of directing. Have you ever tried pitching a continuation of Atlantis back on Earth, or even going back out to the stars? The way it finished left so many options open for continuing the story. Yeah, Jason Libb. It's not about ideas. There are plenty of ideas for Stargate. Many people have had them over the years. I sort of partially joke about the idea of doing a Stargate Academy where have McKay as the headmaster and all the young kids coming up and learning the ropes of Stargate travel and such. With all of the old characters. I thought it'd be kind of fun. No, there's plenty of ideas. The problem of rights, right? So MGM owns part of them, and they've got certain writers have been promised certain things. Producers are promised other things. It's an expensive show, I'm sure now, because there's a lot of people to pay. There's just a lot of sort of legality, all boring administrative legal stuff that stops these things from happening. It's sort of it's my least favorite part of the industry is the business side of it, and it just gets so complicated. So it's like you come up with a million great ideas on what to do with Stargate. The problem is not that. The problem is how you get the rights to do it. So Evolution 2019 says my business is exponentially growing month to month as all the YouTubers and Twitch streamers I sell to get asked where they got their capture cards. Oh, that's fantastic, Evolution. Feel free to put a link up here if you want. I mean, if it's any good, to you. I can permit that if you want. We're all friends here. If anyone's interested in what Evolution is up to, I certainly am. Evolution is building sort of external the ability to capture the content from Nintendo DS, I believe. Is that right? Are you doing Switch as well at this point, or is it just Nintendo DS? Join the Academy. There you go. Dan O'Mango would. James Gurney, just finished work. A very expensive robot broke, so I don't get to work this weekend. What robot broke, James? What robot have you broken? Chrissy G says hello to myself. Hello, Chrissy. And to the chat. Hello, chat. Some actresses look really good, but is that both a blessing and a curse? Me being as handsome as I am, I'm sure I don't get cast for a lot of things just because of my amazing good looks. That's probably why I don't work as much as I do. James Gurney broke a robot. McKay in charge of kids. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No, even better. McKay in charge of like teenagers. That would be, to me, that's comedy gold. And plus, it's science fiction stuff, right? So they'd be doing off-world missions and everything to go and learn about what's going on. And of course, everything would go wrong. I think it'd just be great. Just take a look at Star Wars and Star Trek behemoths. Yes, but again, I think you'll find that the ownership of Star Wars and Star Trek, maybe not Star Trek as much. Well, maybe Star Trek. I don't know, but certainly Star Wars. The line of ownership is very clear in Star Wars. So that is a Disney project now. That is Disney. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. They can exploit it as much as possible. Whereas MGM, I'm not sure MGM has I don't know that they've got the exclusive rights to be doing this stuff. I don't know though, so it's not. I still talk fast. I do talk fast, Dan Mango. Very true. What else we got? Yeah. So Evolution 219 is put there. Twitter. You're going for Twitter. Is that your best? You prefer Twitter? Oh my God, Robot Wars was so great, wasn't it? I loved Robot Wars. There's still a lot of you can find a lot of Robot Wars stuff on YouTube, by the way. I'm excited to see Joe Flanagan and Jason Momoa reunite on his show C. I knew that's what he was doing. I knew he was up there for that. Would love to see a full reunion with you all guys. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Jason and I are not really talking to each other, so I think me and Flanagan are okay, but Momoa ain't talking to me. We had a nasty fight, and we're not speaking. All right, McKay in charge of smart teenagers. I know that'd be terrifying. Atlantis needed an episode like Star Trek Next Generation where they became kids. Ooh, could you imagine McKay's child? God, that would be awful. I may not have to imagine it. It's possible I have one. I'd love to see how Atlantis would play out. Now it's on Earth. I wish we weren't on Earth. I liked being on Atlantis. I felt Atlantis should stay out there. I enjoyed being out there. I thought that was better for the stories, anyways. You get to Earth, and it just, I don't know, it becomes a bit of a soap opera. Carl Urban's New Zealand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, Ms. Lintz, I wish he'd just done his New Zealand accent. The British accent seems unnecessary to me. I'd so watch teenagers aggravating McKay. Oh, then you'll love this stream, Sommer, because that's all that happens is my teenager irritates the crap out of me. And I irritate I'm probably more irritating to him than he is to me, to be honest. I love the kid. Yes, Beckett and McKay. You could do like a Beckett McKay show where we just raise children. It'd be like, 3 men and a baby. 3 men and a wraith. Do you still see him meet up with the rest of the cast? Jason, Lib, Joe, Jewel, Amanda, Jason. We sort of social media. Like we'll sort of like tweet each other or text each other the odd email now and again. In fact, I owe Joe an email. Jewel and I basically go back and forth on Twitter every so often. Amanda, I never see, but most of them are just people I see when I go to the to conventions and stuff. That's mainly where I see them. Some of them I chat with online. I mean, David Blue and I have recently sort of been in touch a bit more. Yeah, I mean, I'm a believe it or not, I'm a rather antisocial old goat. So I tend to sort of stick to myself and to my own being 10 to 14-year-old kids. I just really enjoy what I'm doing with the Tech Bandit stuff. So I tend to keep that my focus. Oh, Lexi K, thank you very much, and hello, Lexi K. That's the best way to get in touch with me and keep up with what I'm doing in stock, etc. Oh, fantastic, Evolution 219, fantastic. I bet Jason wouldn't return. His wife wouldn't let him. You don't think so? Yeah, I don't think we can afford Jason at this point. I can't imagine. Yeah, I mean, well, maybe. Who knows? Maybe he shows up for an episode now and again. Maybe Flanagan could talk him into it. The man needs my tech geek skills, does he? Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I don't know, did I actually send an email? I started an email. I don't know if I actually sent it to him or not. Summer SDR. I like the personal aspect of working via direct messages, and then I can make the customer exactly what they want. Oh, that's cool, Evolution. That's neat. I find it's funny. I didn't know people were really doing business on Twitter. Twitter, I'm not terribly good at checking my direct messages, so I should probably start doing that. There's too many things to check now. I feel like I want to consolidate. I feel like I want to, recently with the kid, Bratlett and I had a discussion, and we decided that he doesn't need TikTok because he's not creating TikTok. He's just watching, so it's just sucking his brain. Same thing with Instagram, although Instagram he's a bit worried about because he's got friends on there that he feels like he'd like to be in touch with. But he doesn't, that's my thing, is he doesn't really use it that way. He tends to go to that page of recommends, or as I call it, the page of distractions, and then just gets sucked into it like anyone would, like any good human being programmed by the algorithm does. So yeah, I've been sort of worrying about that. Paulo Jumper, David, you're amazing in both appearances of the 2 episodes of Murdoch Mysteries that you provided. Ah, well, thank you very much. That's interesting. There's a new show called Frankie Drake that they're doing here that I think it's possible I might do something on that, which is very similar to the Murdoch Mysteries, only with brilliant ladies instead, which is kind of fun. But that isn't. I mean, that's literally just at the having chats stage. We're not actually nothing's confirmed on that. Are you talking anything to Joe Flanagan these days? You should lure him into a co-casting on Twitch now when he's locked up in a hotel room. It's so true. Yeah, there you go. The Scare Lab. Thank you, Scare Lab. What is the Scare Lab? That sounds kind of fun. My son's 22 years old. You haven't started yet with a 13-year-old. Yeah, no kidding, Bobs. Believe me, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that my 13-year-old talks to me like he's a freaking 22-year-old. Like I love him to bits. I love my kid to bits. I struggle to not sort of try to be one of his friends, if that makes sense. Like I have to force myself to sort of step back and go, oh yeah, right, he's got friends. I should let him play with my friends because, I still operate at about the level of a 14-year-old. So I'm just, I'm obsessively interested in all the stuff that like I mean he got me into Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards, and I'm like a giant kid, um, with all of the same kid-like ADHD tendencies. So it's yeah, I have to sort of force myself not to hang out with my kid sometimes because I think it's better for him to be hanging out with his friends. But yeah, like he got me onto Twitch. Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He completely it was an absolute epiphany to me how sort of wonderful this whole sort of platform was. Is Joe on Twitch now? He should be. I'm assuming that every actor in the world is on these platforms now. I mean, I don't know what else you'd be doing, right? So belt drive that drives the arm along a track that is clearly having issues. It's all right. We'll get a tech out to replace it. Just annoyed as I have some really cool work I'm doing right now, and I have a nerd who likes doing, and I'm a nerd who likes doing the science. Yeah, of course, James, you like doing the science. Why not? Interesting. So you've got like a whole. Is there like a tech department that will handle it? And what is it? Is it some kind of what? What is the robot responsible for doing, James? James, I mean, for want of a better word, microbiologist, I guess, a scientist. Yeah, Twitter is great for advertising projects. It's true. I get a lot of response from Twitter. I got to say, which is, I'm still surprised at how little at how few of the very. I mean, I've got a pretty good. I mean, I'm impressed with like 100,000 followers. I'm always amazed at how few. Even though those many people follow you, how few of them actually respond to tweets, and I think there's just so many distractions on there. But if you are specifically looking to work on to do capture stuff for a DS, I'm sure it's absolutely perfect for that. Um, Oh, fantastic! Scare Lab loved Dog's Breakfast. I love Dog's Breakfast too. We have a new dog now, so maybe the air of the dog time. All right, what do we got? I do, Dano Mango. I love sci-fi. I'm a big fan of like cyberpunk. I love the cyberpunk stuff. So I loved all the Neuromancer and God, what else did I like? Snow Crash. Big fan of Neil Stephenson stuff. Cryptonomicon was a wonderful one as well. Recently read all the Old Man Wars books. Loved those. Loved those. What else? I read The Expanse, the first Expanse book. I've got to read the other ones. I've sort of let it go. Ancillary Justice, another series that I quite enjoyed reading. I haven't read all of them. I'm not a good reader, I've got to say. I tend to lose track very quickly and get distracted by things. I mean, I literally be diagnosed with ADHD, so it's which is no surprise to anybody. But books, I'm finding it harder and harder to focus on books now because again, I don't read them in book form anymore. I read them on a phone or a tablet, right? So I would read more if there weren't so many streams going on of actors I like. Sorry, Stargate lover. Old Man's War is fantastic. I gotta say. Uh, I'm not sure if I've read Terry Pratchett. Big fan of Douglas Adams as well. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series is amazing. Got the Expanse audiobooks. I can't do fiction audiobooks. Can't do it. Don't know why. I guess because as an actor, I find myself it pulls me out of the book. I need to. I can read. I can listen to nonfiction and documentary stuff. I love that. In fact, I do that all the time. I'm doing a right now. The audiobook I'm listening to is I'm combining it. I'm reading. Listening to a book called Inconvenient Indian, which is amazing, amazing, funny, poignant, absolutely searing sort of indictment of the treatment of indigenous people in North America. Just a really smart, funny book. Um, it speaks a lot to the Canadian side of that stuff. And the other thing I'm reading is this biology course, the great what they call the great courses. There's a whole series of great courses up there, and I'm doing the biology one right now, which I have started and stopped 1,000 times. Uh, like terrible, but love it. In fact, so much so that I think I've listened to the first 4 or 5 episodes probably 10 times now because I forget. And I go back and I listen to it again, I just it's I find sometimes things like with memorizing lines for Stargate or whatever or shows, I have to go over and over and over and over things. It's the only way it sticks in my head. So often when I'm trying to learn something, I will watch tutorials multiple times. I will listen to audiobooks multiple times just to try to lock some of this stuff into my big, thick brain or tiny, thick brain. Loved your work as McKay. Glad to catch you live. Thank you, Brian Horn, and thank you for the 100, whatever those things are. Sorry, gotta go. Okay, well, Dano Mango, thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in while you could. I hear you on the distractions. I'm supposed to be drafting my first academic paper right now, but there's too much going on. We suck for that. Well, Bronze Scale, tell us about your academic paper. Maybe we can, maybe some thoughts will, maybe by speaking about it with us, you'll be able to come up with some good ideas. Have you voiced any audiobooks or ever wanted to? Again, I would do a nonfiction audiobook. I would not do a fiction one. I mean, I shouldn't say never, but I don't have any interest in doing the fiction ones because I don't listen to them myself, and I find that they restrict my enjoyment of a book, and that is purely, I think, because I'm an actor, and I think it's just because I start critiquing the acting and the more than and get brought out of the book. Whereas I would absolutely do a nonfiction book. I would love to do a nonfiction book because to me that's the perfect world where I'm learning stuff and earning at the same time, which is just something I absolutely love doing. I have done a couple. I did an amazing series called The Fantasy Makers about J.R.R. Tolkien. Did I get that right? J.R.R. Tolkien. Yes, J.R.R. Tolkien and the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe fan, C.S. Lewis, and there was another guy really interesting that was sort of a precursor to the both of them. I believe a Scottish or an Irish writer. I can't remember. Again, I did it a while ago, but it's called The Fantasy Makers, and you can find it. I think it's on Amazon. I think it's on Amazon Prime even. So you should definitely check that out. I loved it. I absolutely loved doing it. In my research into, okay, here we go. Bronze Scale. What are you on to? Yeah, I do like having actual books on some stuff, Haley, but it feels inefficient now, and I just think of all the trees. I can't do it. I have to do electronic now. It's my research. Okay, Bronze Scale. It's on my research into contact reactions of inorganic materials. Contact reactions of inorganic materials. Okay, can't tell you guys too much because I wouldn't want to get scooped. Oh, of course, yeah, you got to be careful on that. It could just be an average paper, but if one thing does what we think it might, we could have a huge nature level paper. Oh, fantastic. Well, Bronze Scale, what the frick are you doing over here for? Go do something brilliant, and then come back and talk to us about it. And then when you've got something to talk about, Bronze Scale, come and talk to me and we'll share it with the Tech Bandits. Maybe you can help explain it to me and thus in explaining it to me, perhaps to the Tech Bandits as well. Have you ever thought about doing a podcast? Stargate Girls Sophie. Stargate Girl Sophie. Yes. In fact, look, it's kind of weird. I've been asked to do a lot of podcasts recently, like a ridiculous number of podcasts. Almost all of them are Stargate related, and I've said no to most of them because I feel like I spend a lot of time talking Stargate on this stream. I spend a lot of time talking Stargate on various different things, and I feel like because of the pandemic, there's been a lot of interest in getting us to talk Stargate and to do all sorts of Stargatey stuff. And I don't want it to be the same stuff like over, like I'm just rehashing the stuff. I did say yes to Dial the Gate because I'm a big fan of him and Gate World and what he's up to. So so I am doing that. Although I won't be a regular on that. I'll just do one or two here or there maybe by the sound of it. And also I love joining Barnacles. Big fan of Barnacles on Tech Talk. So if you are interested in hearing me in podcast mode, then you should check out Tech Talk with Barnacles because he's first off, Barnacles is fantastic. I love him. He's a brother from another mother, nerd brother from another mother. And Ox, Ox is fantastic too. They're just a great couple of guys, and I really just enjoy talking tech with them, which is what we do. Would you come to my podcast? It's not Stargate related. It's called Spoken Out Stories. What's it about, Kasuf? Look, Joe did a live rainbow Did a live Rainbow. A live with Rainbow. Did he? Oh, fantastic. And you missed it. Oh, no. David Reed. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, I think he's great, and I love what he's doing, and he's always been incredibly supportive. So I want to sort of give back. When I first started on Stargate, when SG-1, that first episode, I asked the producers, the powers that be, I asked them for some background information because I mean, I knew the show, but it wasn't really, it was on the very cusp of my radar, not smack in the middle, and I like to know everything. So I said, look, is there some kind of a show Bible that you've got? Because when I say that, a show Bible, normally there's like when someone pitches a show, they put together a thing about the characters, about the world that they live in, about the tone, about the filmmaking thing, and then also a sort of a little, almost like a Wikipedia of information about the show. Well, I guess they didn't do that. What they did instead was they printed out the glossary or the Wikipedia basically from Gateworld. When I was like, thank you, put that aside, and then went online and went onto Gateworld, and that is where I got all of my background information for Stargate. So absolutely owe them a huge, I'm forever indebted to them for that. And I'm sure I'll talk about that on their podcast as well. But so just an amazing resource, an amazing site. I mean, for a while there, I harbored fantasies of buying the site and sort of funding it myself because I was so taken with the way they did their stuff, and I just thought it was I was always been a big fan of I actually had a web development company for a while where I did internet for film and TV at a time where it was impossible. I could not talk anybody into doing website. Everyone's like, "What? We're a TV show. Why would we need a website?" Or we're we're a TV company. Why do we need people will watch our stuff on television. We don't want to cannibalize our own stuff. But we did quite well with that for a bit there. We had a couple of clients who we did movie websites for, and they were great because they were all sort of these crazy weird movies. Like one of them was actually Billy's Hollywood Screen Kiss, which is actually the first movie that I ever saw. The guy from oh my God. I'm completely blanking on names now. Oh, for God's sake. I'm going to look it up. I'll look it up. Or someone else look it up. It's Billy's Hollywood Screen Kiss, and it was like a leading role for, I wonder if that site's still up. I doubt it. Billy's Hollywood. I think it was, there you go. So the movie looks like it's being pirated beautifully. It looks like it's on Amazon. It was a fun movie. It was a really fun movie, but it was the first thing I'd seen Sean Hayes in, and it was it was a fun little movie, and we did a website for it, and just really enjoyed it to such an extent that we actually had we would have the directors and stuff sort of email us and say, "Oh my God, it's such a great job you did on the site." And we did a website for Cube when Cube first came out. That was sort of how we got into it. My sister did all of the design stuff. We'd sit down and come up with ideas, and then she would just go off and figure out how to make them. And she was just brilliant. Actually, I've been hoping to sort of rope her into some more Tech Bandit stuff because if I can get her some money, because I mean she's like hand to mouth. She's like got 2 kids and single mom, like crazy hard worker. Mnemonic Man, thank you very much. 3 months you've been with us. Well, that's fantastic. That's a good button. Cube scared the bejesus out of me. Cube was great. I loved Cube. Cube was done by my best friends, absolute best friends. Working with my best friends, like a absolutely miserable experience because it was a horrible, it was a hard shoot to do. But that said, the joy of making that film happen because it was Vincenzo's first film, and he's the one who we've been making films together since I was like 13, 14 years old. Andrei Bjelek, who wrote the script with him, who is now an editor, but brilliant guy, like just a brilliant. The two of them are just brilliant. What hype train? Why is there a hype train? Thank you, Dixie Enormous VDF. How did we get a hype train out of that? Anyway, Bertley, thank you, Bertley. I guess everyone's suddenly been reminded that they've got you don't have to, but that they can. Oh wow, yes, Dixie Enormous VDF. Wow, thank you very much. So yeah, I don't know what that means. For some reason that makes me talk faster. It's a hype train. I got to talk faster. So yeah, we made that movie, and I say we because Andrew Miller, who's one of the actors in it as well, who's now a showrunner, does more. Well, he writes now. He's a made a brilliant writer and showrunner. Well, actually one of the most brilliant funny people I've ever known. Um, and he played Kazan, and he and I, of course, like friends. God, we've been friends forever. Vincenzo and I, same thing. Andre as well. Bill Phillips, who went on to do Foolproof and Gunless, and Treed Murray, or Get Out, whatever they called it, up in the states or down in the states. So just a bunch of us working together, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And we would we would get our paychecks. Because we were a union, we had to all of the checks, you have to be paid in the union. You have to be paid, but there is a workaround. Whereas if you get paid and you only get paid the part that the union gets, because that's, it seems, what all that our actors union cares about, is that they get their pound of flesh, their dues in our retirement fund. So you basically say, okay, look, there's a check for $1,000. There's your $1,000 worth of union dues and union fees and processing fees and all that crap, and my retirement fund. So that stuff gets put aside, and then but you don't actually get the paycheck. So I literally, I don't even, I'll have to dig them up. I've got a bunch of Cube stuff somewhere. I have checks for nothing, like literally checks for $0 paid to me as my salary. And Andrew and I did that for the movie, to get the movie made. And not as investors. We weren't allowed to be investors. We just wanted to make our friend's movie happen, and it was amazing. And look, as it turns out, it's a great investment. I got more jobs from Cube than anything, I'm sure. In fact, I'm sure Cube came into play with another hype train. Holy moly, Bronze Scale! Thank you so much. What is going on? It's gone kind of crazy. Oh my God, it's David Hewlett. The Scare Lab. Cube's fantastic movie. A friend of mine maybe watched it. I almost deafened Jim by screaming, "Oh my God, it's David Hewlett!" Because I didn't know he put. Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of hair ago, but yeah. Thank you very much, Bronze Scale. That is incredibly generous of you. I should say, by the way, a huge, huge thank you to everybody for their subscriptions. I have to record some phone messages for you, which I haven't done, and I feel awful about that. Maybe I can get to that today. There's so many things. I also have to build this freaking. I got to build this amazing Prusa 3D printer that I have. I just don't have it. I also have to say I've just had an amazing, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I hope I don't embarrass him, but a wonderful guy, Jonathan, has just got in touch and said, "Look, I hear you need a CNC. Well, need. I would like to get a CNC machine." For the Tech Bandits, basically to sort of allow. I want to build a makerspace that kids can come in and play with, and that we can film in and start doing some stuff together. Very, very kindly, basically said, put together what you need and they'll cover it. So Jonathan, thank you so much for that. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that just makes it possible, really. So I got to explore that. I'm going to see if I could talk to some companies and see if maybe they want to help out, because then Jonathan doesn't have to pay so much, and maybe we can get the same thing for and it'll cost people less money. But I so appreciate that. So really huge appreciation to anybody who's helped out and everybody who's helped out. DStat is our sponsorship level Patreon. So he's been amazing about that. So huge thanks to DStat. And if you've got any internet stuff to do, you want to talk about streaming or gaming or any of that kind of stuff, talk to DStat, because he knows his stuff. And that's how he earns his money. So keep him employed, because he's keeping us in Tech Bandits. All of the Patreons, thank you so much. All subscribers, again, subscriber money is partially going to me, which will go to Tech Bandits, basically. So any money that I'm making online right now is going to Tech Bandits. I mean, in the form of materials and toys and that kind of stuff. Maybe one day it'll be my job. But right now it's feeding the hobby in a wonderful way. And then the rest of the money that we get on subscriptions here, I give to Baz for pocket money. But I'm going to start looking at that, because he's not been doing a lot of streaming, amongst other things, homework and schoolwork included. So I'm actually going to start cutting him back, because I'm saying, like, look, if people are here watching me by myself, that I'm taking the money and putting it towards Tech Bandits. If he wants to do more streaming, then he can. Then I'll give him more of his share. But yeah, it's hard, Daddy. Now I'm coming down hard, hard, hard. I just feel like it's about. I got to be a little bit more disciplinary now. I'm afraid I suck at discipline. It's like trying to discipline Bambi, as my friend says. You look at those giant big eyes, and it's like, God, I can't. How can I take games away from this child? Debug, by the way, I love that. I have Debug and a dog's breakfast signed by you. Oh, fantastic. Oh, good. Those are two classics there, Scare Lab. Um, Downloading now. On sell now. Grrr. What are you downloading? Re-downloading. What are you re-downloading? David, did you see pictures of the axles? What's the axles? Am I missing something? What have I missed? Jess Masker joining late, but it doesn't matter. Better late than never. He does Twitch like 3 times a week, says Hermscat. Have you thought about doing videos on Cameo? Well, okay, so Cameo. That is an interesting question, Cameo, because when they first approached me about it, I guess when they started out, I guess they were looking for sci-fi people or something, or they got to the H's in the phone book. Um, and I said, look, I just don't feel comfortable about it right now. Because I feel like, as Cal says, I do this. I'm online all the time. I try to tweet as much. I try to respond to people. I as much as possible, and I feel like that is my time. Like that's where I'm totally not even willing to do it. I love doing it. If I can interact with people and it's a pleasant experience for both of us, that's wonderful. I mean, sometimes it gets weird, but and sometimes people buy me CNC machines. So there you go, Jonathan. So I feel like I do that all the time anyways. It feels weird to then ask people to pay for something that I'm sort of doing already. But I guess I would say, I suppose there is a. My wife said we'll do it for Tech Bandits. Like do like to have that as like a fundraiser thing for Tech Bandits. I suppose again, I just feel I worry about. Here's what I worry about. Another hype train. Holy crap! Thank you. What happened? How did that happen? Have I missed? I'm in slow mode, so I've missed everything, haven't I? Completely missed everything. Uh, do percentage based on hours streamed would be a great motivator. Yeah, that's actually really good. In fact, what I'll do, Evolution, is get him to work out the math for me. Because, Bochibal, dad mode. It's true, I'm in dad mode. Do you accept physical donations for Tech Bandits? Jess Masker, I do when I can. The problem is we're in Canada, and you'll find that if you try to send me anything of any consequence over the border, they will duty the crap out of it. They will duty and tax it. And so what happens is very kind people send me very large packages, and then I get a very large bill. And in some cases, I've actually had to say, I'm so sorry, but I can't accept this because I just don't, while it's very kind of people to send me a giant, computer for the kids to pull apart or whatever, I can't afford to pay, I can't afford to be paying the, 70, $80 worth of duty every time someone decides to send me something. So yeah, so it just certainly depends. I don't mean to sound ungrateful. I just, honestly, I can't afford your kindness in some cases. So, wow, who else? I got another subscription there. What's going on? Oh no, that was received a hype level thing of some sort. Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, what do we got? I'm so slow on this. Shoo choo, says Bronze Scale. Oh, Axiotals, that's right. Scare Lab. We do not spend enough time in England. We would normally be there in England during the summer vacations. We would normally go and we'd go to Warwickshire, and Jane's got a place there, or her dad's place there, which is just a floodplain basically. It's wonderful, but it's that. If you clear through UPS, it costs the brokerage fee of $80. If you go directly through CBSA, it's cheaper. If you clear through UPS, it costs that brokerage fee of $80. See, this is it. So techniques. So that adds up. People start sending you stuff, and that really adds up. So, and I feel weird asking people to spend their money on that. I do come to Wales. Yeah, we go to Wales every year. Love Wales. Penrith. We're usually around Penrith and the Gower and that area there. We sort of do a family trip there. I'm not sure we're going to go specifically there again next time because we've sort of lost some family members who were that was their stomping ground, and now they've moved on to other spheres. We'll maybe be looking at other places, but absolutely Wales, absolutely love Wales. My father-in-law's from Wales, grew up in a little mining village, and maybe one day we'll move back there. I quite love it. I absolutely love Wales. I would live in Wales in a second. I really like the Midlands too. I mean, Jane has a place in the Midlands which she has no intention of getting rid of. So we've got 25 acres of partially flooded land and sheep and horses and all that kind of stuff. We don't own the sheep or the horses. The people use the field. Jane's father was incredibly generous man, who basically you know, let people use his land for growing their own vegetables or holidaying horses, or in some cases, in one case specifically, raising sheep. And Jane's never raised the rent, and I love that family. The Lomans are a truly wonderful bunch. Married a Welshman, Bob's. Well done, well done. Probably a wise decision, Bob's. The Scare Lab, if you were to hypothetically invite you to a wedding in England in 2022, what would the chances be of you being able to attend? Scare Lab, I don't even like going to my own wedding. God, I can't. I hate weddings. You know that I'm actually. So get this. I actually. Thank you. Thank you. It seems. I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. It seems unlikely that this antisocial old goat is going to show up at any weddings. But you never know. I mean, if we're around, sure. I actually get this. We had friends of ours who they wanted me to marry them. Well, not me to marry them, but we wanted me to do the marrying. You take this woman, man, all the rest of it. And I was like, well, that's ridiculous. How do you even do that? Well, it turns out we were living in California. I didn't know this because you can't do this in Canada that I'm aware of. But in California, you can join. You pay $10 to join some crazy church, and which I did do some research on, by the way. I was like, what if I joined the wrong church and it's like some kind of right wing, Nazi church or something. Anyways, I did the research. This is the Church of the Spiritual Humanists, and the Church of the Spiritual Humanists believes that if God exists, once he's been proven by science, we're more than happy to believe in him. That was the general gist I got from it. I became a clergy or something. I mean, literally, you pay $10, they give you a card, which means that this pseudo-religious organization allows you to marry people. So I married our friends, and I butchered it. Oh my God! And they didn't. By the way, the marriage didn't last either. I don't think it's because of me. But yeah, their wedding certificate is the funniest thing I've ever seen, because I got things in the wrong place and had to scratch them out and put arrows. It's the most ridiculous. It looks like a playbook. Their marriage certificate looks like a playbook. So it's probably the sign of things to come. Fallout Space. Oh my. Hey, Fallout Space. Get this. I just worked with one of the more famous voices from Fallout, the game. In fact, I'm going to look it up just to make sure I get the right the right character name, because I do tend to get these things wrong. Is there an IMDb for this stuff? That's a good question. Wait a sec. Does IMDb have games as well? It does, doesn't it? I thought it did. I don't want that. Just give me the damn old IMDb. Come on, IMDb.com. I'm looking. His name is Greg Brick. Amazing guy. I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I was kind of geeking out with the poor guy in the car yesterday, and yeah, just a lovely guy. So cool. I think a fantastic actor. Amazing look too. He's just got this fantastic look to him. And he is in this game series that many of us love. In fact, you know what? I'm not even going to do this. Cal, Greg Brick. Cal will tell us. Jacob Seed voiceover. That's it. Yeah, amazing. And he was like, so not Fallout, Far Cry. Sorry. See how wrong I got it? Not Fallout, Far Cry. Thank you. Oh my God, I hope I didn't say Fallout yesterday. Oh, that'd be embarrassing. You know what's so funny? I truly am the cringy dad that my son accuses me of being. So yes, it is. I'm sorry. It is Far Cry, not Fallout. God, well, they both have F's in them. But only one of them has Greg Brick, and yeah, absolutely amazing guy. I sort of threw out the idea there that maybe I could talk him into coming on a Twitch stream and talking to the kids about doing some voiceover stuff. Okay, I'm logging in from home now. How come I see an ad? I don't. That's weird. Why are you seeing ads? I don't. Is there a way to just shut off the ads? Okay, I'm gonna go to Creator Dashboard. Here I go. Insights, preferences. Would it be preferences? Channel preferences? How about that? Channel preferences. Let's go. And let's see if there's some way. Is there some kind of ad stuff that I should be enable clips? I don't know what that means. Followers only, no. Subscriber only, no. Permissions. People who can stream to your channel. I don't know what that means. What do we got? Is there any ad related stuff? Video players, channel trailers, social links, stream schedule. Yeah, good luck with that. Oh, yes, my schedule. My completely random schedule. Host team channels, no. Host priority, raids, allow raids. Yes, we allow raids, don't we? Drops, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Okay, I don't see anything about ads. Is there something ad related that I should be looking at? For those of you in the know, is there a setting somewhere? Oh, you can actually wait a sec. So you can actually choose to run ads too. No, read the chat. No, read the chat. I've just logged out and logged back in again, so I'm going to have missed a whole bunch of stuff. Let me just switch to mod view. My favorite mod view. You have to be a subscriber to Twitch Prime to not have ad. But they are. But they are subscribers. I believe we have people who use ad blockers as to why Twitch does ads sub or not. I only use ad blockers because my PC is older than 11 years. Yeah, that'll do it. No, even Prime users get ads now. It's forced on every... Ah, screw that. All right, what do we think? Should we move to like another platform? Let's start another platform. What do you think? Hey, howdy there. Howdy there. Howdy there. Howdy there. Hi, David. New here. Just wanted to say thanks for all the Stargate stuff. Enjoyed Rodney very much. Hope to see him again. Yeah, me too. Well, howdy there. Thank you very much. Yes, welcome. I think you'll like this bunch. They're a nice. There's a nice bunch on this old chatterers here. Sirsta says, note, Twitch Turbo, only way to get rid of ads. Is that really it? Could go to float plane. What's that? Call it cringe. Call it cringe. That sucks. What sucks? Oh, I see. New platform called Glimesh you should look at. Really? Someone was, not someone, it was, yeah, it was Barnacles. Barnacles, sorry. I always want to say Barnacules because that's how it's spelled. Barnacles. Barnacles was talking about this library, this library thing where they actually have like their own Bitcoin and stuff. I just thought that was kind of cool. Linus Tech Tips made their own platform, Floatplane. I like the sound of it already. David, about getting a bunch of video game performance captured voiceovers on the Tech Bandits. About getting so David. Yeah. Cal sounds a bit interested about that, don't they? Cal, are you fangirling? Parsival says, have you watched all of the 100? There are 7 seasons now. Holy moly, haven't watched one. Not even one. I'm terrible. I watch nonfiction stuff all the time. Floatplane was originally started as an in-house project for a large YouTube channel. It wasn't until it was already sort of up and running that we realized it. Huh. Interesting. Floatplane was originally started as an in-house project for a large YouTube channel. Okay. I know nothing, Hops Genomen. I know nothing about this new Stargate thing. I worry that they just throw that out there every so often. Floatplane sucks because you have to pay for it to use it. I don't like that because I wouldn't be able to afford it. I see. No, the thing that I like about... Here's what I like about Twitch. Many things. First off, Cal. That's what I like about Twitch, Cal. And I like the fact that it's free, so anyone can see it. And thus, when someone subscribes, it's that much more... I feel like it's that much more of a compliment because you go like, oh my God, that's someone who doesn't have to pay to watch and enjoy and be a part of all this, but is. So I kind of love that. Originally, I was thinking, oh well, I'll have subscriber only things and all this kind of stuff, and honestly, I'm just uncomfortable with that. I'm like a bleeding heart capitalist. In other words, I suck at making money. That's why I act. Acting is, I've done a number of businesses in my time, but I suck at business. I just suck because I don't like asking people for money. It feels weird. Acting, I have an agent who asks for money for me, which is just a lot easier. And it's just and I love doing it, and it's just a great job to have. So, and that basically pays for everything. I mean, when there was more work, um, I when there's more work, I have more money to do this stuff, but I have less time. I sort of want to find a balance now because I do not want to. I don't when the pandemic's over. I don't want to stop doing this. I wanted to keep doing this. Um, Brave New World. I haven't seen it yet, but I loved the book. Loved the book. Oh yeah, Agents of Shield. How cool would that be? Pretty much what Turbo is here on Twitch. That's pretty much what Turbo is here on Twitch. What does that mean? I like Twitch because it's free. It's not perfect, but it's still not bad. You can pay for Twitch and donate and tip people you follow. Wait a second. Yeah, I don't understand why we're not partners yet. We've applied for Baz keeps bugging me, and I keep applying for partner. Don't get it. There's always a reason like, oh, it's not we don't have regular enough programming, or I'm like, but wait a second. We've covered all the things we're supposed to cover. We're averaging over the whatever it is 75 that they want. Oh, Fallout Space. Thoughts on the Lord of the Rings series in the works on Amazon? Well, it would be amazing. I think it could be absolutely amazing. It would be nice to have it as a series because I feel like then you could truly take your time with stuff. But that said, I found some of those Lord of the Rings movies a bit long. So maybe the good thing is you could build it.
Stand up and stretch your legs.
I am standing. Shut up, robot.
I once made a snowman laugh so hard, he swallowed his corncob pipe. And that's no joke.
Thank you, Bratlet. Bratlet has set up Alexa to tell me bad jokes at 1 o'clock every afternoon. I'd love to be a hobbit. Oh my God, I have tiny ears and, my feet can be resized. Oh my God, I would love to be a part of it. My God, of course. $1 billion. Yeah, I'd do it for $1 billion. It's fine. Fallout Space. I'm sure $1 billion. I mean, normally I'd be a lot more expensive, but $1 billion is fine. Yeah. The Scare Lab. Your son is my hero. Well, don't tell him that because right now he's in the doghouse big time. I don't know what to do. Like I may have to take. I don't want to do this, but I may have to take away his video games. Like I may have to do like no video games during the week, and I don't want to do that, but he's not getting work done at school. He's not getting work done at home. We're not hearing about stuff he's not getting done. And he's getting in trouble at school now for being a dad, for being his dad. And none of which I should be sharing with you, I'm sure. I'm sure he'd be mortified. But I just, as a parent, I don't exactly know what to do here because I feel like as a nerd, I'm like, oh my God, I can't, if my dad took away my computer games, I didn't have computer games, but my dad kicked me out of the house. Like when I was 17 years old, my dad kicked me out because I quit school. Basically the end of 16, beginning of 17. No, was it? Or maybe it was the other way around. 17, 18? Something like that. I was 17. I said, I'm leaving school. He said, great. Well, you're old enough to not go to school anymore. You're old enough to live on your own. So off you go. So we'll see. Sounds like a normal kid. Is that it? Or maybe it is a normal kid thing. So basically 13. I don't know. So no games until he's done XYZ. I mean, that's sort of, Love Yak, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like maybe just say, offset. I always wonder about going. I actually get this. So this year I looked into going back to school to get my high school diploma because I've never got it. And within like 2 weeks of registering, I was like, I'm out. Because I can't deal with the bureaucracy. I can't do it. The special dates, you got to go in and see the this and that, and then they want you to come in for 2 days of in-class stuff, and then the rest of it's online, and you've got to take at least one of these classes, one of those classes. I was like, I've already done those classes. I don't want to do those ones. I want to do these ones. So I'm like, forget it. No, I am an online learner. I'm a lifelong learner. I suck at following educational sort of mandates and stuff. One of the reasons why I like doing the Tech Bandits is that I promise the kids I'm not going to teach them anything. I have no intention of teaching. I am purely there. They are there while I learn stuff, and they can help me out, and they tend to take me where they want to go. So, right, man, hard time limits via the router. Yeah, I've done that too. Techniques. I mean, I've had the. But then we got a massive cell bill because Baz didn't know that that the Wi-Fi had stopped. He was just streaming away on his phone. So we got this massive cell phone bill. Oh my gosh, I love you. I don't think people need their high school diploma if they are as talented as you. Oh God, thank you. Yes to lifelong learning. Thank you for mentioning this, Mommy Bell. Look, this is it. I absolutely, I've made my son promise he'll get his high school diploma because I just think it's a good thing to have. And it's something that I regret having because I regret not having because you know, yes, I know a lot about, I know a little about a lot of things, but there's nothing, but I worry that I don't have, I'm constantly going back and trying to figure out if I have the groundwork I need for a lot of stuff. What I'm discovering is that, if you don't plan on becoming a microbiologist, you don't need the entire background there to still explore things that you find interesting. There's a wonderful guy called Josiah Zahner who has a company called the Odin, which has a whole bunch of like biohacking and biotechnology courses. Really, he used to calls it biohacking, but it's not really. I mean, it is that, but it makes it sound somehow ominous somehow. Because there's the Odin. No, what? Oh no, he hasn't lost the Odin, has he? Oh no, he's got a hyphen in there. Okay, the Odin. Okay. Um, so this is it. I'll put the link in for you. It's kind of wonderful. I gotta say, I love these guys. In fact, Cal, if we want to add this if we want to add this to one of your the Zelenka bot, so that we can do that quickly, that would be amazing. Not asking you to do it now, but or maybe just show me how to, or tell me how to. Off to get some food. Well, Glitch UK, who I've not followed up with at all. Glitch UK, where there's talent amongst our midst. Glitch did an amazing 3D model of the Stargate, rotating model of the Stargate, which is just fantastic. And I got to talk to him at some point about stuff, or her. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't whoever Glitch is. But thank you, Glitch. Go get some food for God's sake. Nothing worse than a hangry nerd. I agree with Bronze Scale about Bronze Scale. My parents used to limit game time unless I had finished all my schoolwork and had nothing else to do. Yeah, and that's the thing. So we were trying to do that, but we weren't getting straight answers. So we were sort of like it was like, yeah, everything's done. I'd be like, great, go, let's go game. And then he would go game, and then all of a sudden at the end of the night, he'd be like, oh, I totally forgot. I have like a giant math exam tomorrow. And you're like, what? So yeah. Yesterday, AMD presented the new Ryzen 5000 series, available globally on November the 5th. Oh my God, I'm so in. I'm so in. I think this Christmas, I am finally going to take the plunge and build myself the monster PC of my dreams, because I got some gaming to do. Technique says Bronze Scale homework was. I mean, when I say gaming, I mean lots of very important Tech Bandit stuff. Is what I mean. Bronze Scale homework was its drag, especially when it came by math homework. Too much work, just end up with nothing, negative, nothing. Yeah, techniques. It's interesting because I found so much of this stuff interesting, and yet I think there's a sort of a classical approach to education that's still being used that doesn't work. It just doesn't work on some kids. Some kids are great; they're up for it, they can do it. I was not one of them. I look at me. I'm standing. I'm standing to talk to you now because, frankly, even just sitting reminds me of school. I don't. I want to be up. I want to move around. I want to see things. I want to have things to. What is that? Things to play with. I am literally. It was so funny. I was I sort of very sort of solemnly told my friends one day. I was like, yeah, no, I spoke to the doctor and I've been diagnosed with ADHD, and they're all like, you didn't know that already? I was like, well, yeah, I kind of sort of makes sense, I guess, now. And they're like, so what do you do about it? I'm like absolutely nothing. So it's a superpower in my mind. But for school, it's terrible. What is this? I just saw this yesterday. Fuel MH5418. Yes, just saw this yesterday. Loved it as I was typing this. I think that you've mentioned it's already working. Stargate Mark II from Glitch with audio and web control on YouTube. What? I say, what? Really? There's a new one? Does Glitch want to share it? Glitch is probably already gone. Yep, catch up whenever you're free. Thank you, Glitch. I'm sorry, I'm terrible about keeping in touch, aren't I? Oh my God, if I am here, am I a nerd? How do you dare? Oh yeah, you are a big nerd. And we use nerd as a word of pride, by the way. And also, this is the great thing: is it's not just nerds. There's a lot of people here who aren't nerds. It's kind of a wonderful mix. I got to say. Okay, one of my boys did the same thing, David. We sat down with teachers and said he would now have an assignment book. Yeah, he's supposed to be doing that too. And each day they signed off on the homework. Yeah, apparently they do that too. To be done in his assignment book. And every day he showed us the book, and I would review the book and homework to make sure it was done. Yes, we're supposed to be doing that too. The teachers were just signing blank pages, and he was forgetting to write stuff down. So yeah, we could probably go back to that. Can you not do your high school diploma online? There, Bob's. Yeah, I looked into that. But again, part of my problem is I've done English, I've done history, I've done that, I've done, I like French, but French, I'm not going to learn French in a classroom. It's never going to work for me. I use Duolingo, I use some audiobooks and that kind of stuff if I want to work on languages, and I don't for the most part. But the reality is, I don't want to be told what I want to learn. I mean, and that I know that's ridiculous and sounds stubborn and stupid, but I know what I want to learn. There is computer science stuff I want to learn. There's math I want to learn, and there is chemistry, science, biology. There is specific things I want to learn, and I feel that in order to get some piece of paper that says I know stuff, which I don't need, I just want the knowledge. I don't want the bureaucracy, and I think that's my struggle with this stuff. So that is, yeah, that's a big part of that. I come here because this is literally the office noise because I don't have the office anymore. Oh, techniques. Oh, great. So we're like your water cooler basically. That's great. Um, Howdy there says, okay, mommy. My mom never finished school in UK. She went to university when I was 6 months old, did her degree 8 years, working full time. You can make it work for you sometimes. Yeah, it depends upon scale. It depends what you want to do. It really does depend what you want to do. My mom went back to university as a mature student when she was 30. Went part time and got her PhD. So she's now another Dr. Hewlett. And she's like an inspiration. But again, I think for me, getting past those first couple of pre-U courses where I've got to take, French, English, and along with all the stuff I want to take, I find frustrating. I don't want to waste my time on that. I'd rather just go in and learn the stuff. Honestly, I think what's probably best for me is to set some time aside and just start plowing through some of the courses on Khan Academy, which is just fantastic for that stuff. And then I'll know where I'm at. I do some of the stuff with the kids sometimes. This year, not so much because it's all been virtual, and frankly, he doesn't tell me about it. All right, I've been doing homework with my kids lately, more than most people probably do with kids of their age. But I know as a kid, I struggled hard with it. Offering more breaks for games and stuff so they don't burn out. I've even called them in for classes or picked them up early so they're not drowning all day. They do their best when we do things in small bursts instead of doing it all at once. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's little bits. I even wondered about going like, okay, fine, do like, do half page of math, then let's go play a game or open a pack of Magic the Gathering cards or something, and then we'll go back again, that kind of stuff. So what I'm gonna do with him, and we'll see if this works, if he's still speaking to me, is I want to sit him down, Jane, myself, and Baz, and just go, okay, Baz, how do we fix this? What do you suggest? What is your plan for how we're going to fix this? And then just try to all decide on something that we can agree on and go from there. Because I don't really want to take all of his gaming away because that means it's not fun for me. And yeah, so we'll see what we come up with on that front. But yeah, a lot of this stuff. I mean, I know a lot of it's common sense. I've done a bunch of that stuff. ICS Canada, DEAC accredited online high school for adults. You like that, Offset? Have you done that? Did you do the ICS? Um, there are tons of free CS classes online. And really, didn't know that. Okay, well, I'll look at that. Wish education was more selective. Would help to keep more. Yeah, exactly. Got my bachelor's at 34. Doctors and nurses are amazing, says Stargate Sophia. They are. Sophie, I mean, not Sophia. I have to go back and get a degree in something like I've been doing for 12 years, so I can get a promotion. Really? Yeah. I'll hire you in my lab, David. There you go, James. Perfect. Boy, I would be just so great in a lab. I could spill a freaking coffee. Imagine if I'd be spilling COVID virus all over the place. Bob's 381 Welsh. Very good. Got my degree in IT and computing, BSc with Open University while pregnant 23 years ago. I'm now outdated. Bob's, Open University. What did you think of that? I might look into that. That sounds like my. But again, a lot of these university courses they want pre-U stuff because I would be a mature student, of course, or as Cal would say, probably a dinosaur student, archaeology student. Just wait until Baz hits the year you need, then go join him in school. Yeah, he actually joked about that. He said, well, okay, so go back to university when I go, and we'll just go to university together. I was like, you will so regret saying that. I need to go back to university, and I think I'm going to wait a bit, to be honest, just because I don't see myself as a teacher right now. Really. I've had many meetings with sons about school over the years, and he's still not doing what he should. Poorly with his GCSEs, hoping that a move to college might make him pull his socks up and apply himself. So interesting. So he, look, here's the thing. I don't feel like you can make kids work at school. I just I don't. Maybe some people can. I'm incapable of it. I wasn't. My father got angrier and angrier. Got more and more. I got more and more punishments related to to my school. I still didn't. I still dropped out. So I don't feel like that's the answer for me. Um, I feel it's a matter of inspiration. It's why I did Tech Bandits. Is because I feel like the Tech Bandits is about trying to find let's talk about video games, but let's talk about video games and see how they affect other aspects of life and stuff. So like this week, or next week, I guess we'll talk about one. I found a neat little article about the what's the carbon footprint of gaming. Like you think about sitting at home playing games, you're like, well, how can that hurt the environment? Well, guess what? Here you go. So it's sort of it's a way of bringing you get them excited about the video game stuff, and then you use that excitement to sort of point it at other aspects of gaming that they might not have thought of. And so that's sort of my approach. It's not teaching; it's just trying to get them excited about stuff. And the big thing for me is to try to tell them about things that they can't do. Tell them about things that there's no freaking way they're going to be able to do. Because if it's something that they're excited about and something that sticks with them, then they will learn how to do it. And that's because what are you going to do? They've got all of the information at their fingertips. Like there is nothing they can't learn how to do online, good and bad. So all we need to do is just get them excited enough about stuff that they want to look for that information. That's all you need to do. I mean, that sounds so stupid, but that's literally, for me, the internet is a nightmare because I want to learn everything, like everything. And there's just not enough hours in the day. So, but that's coming from some actor loser who doesn't even, who didn't even finish high school. But I was so always I've been like an information junkie. I love this stuff. So, um, but I don't think I have the education skills. Like, I don't feel like I wouldn't know how to write an essay now. I wouldn't know how to, hell, I don't even know if I'd be able to write a test now. Um, that's why I love this online idea. Like if this open university thing works, then fantastic. If there's something there, I gotta say though, I don't need the piece of paper. Like I truly don't need the piece of paper. That said, I think other people might, and my son probably does, because I think if you have any, if I went back in time, if I went back in time and did it all over again, I would say to myself, just shut the f up, get through the next couple of years, get your high school diploma, because then you can decide what you want to do. Later, you can decide what you want to do. That said, some of my best acting years were from 17 to 21. I mean, they were, I'm glad I didn't go to school because frankly, I don't think I would have had that. I was a little bit ahead. I was certainly a lot ahead of the kids coming out of theater school because they did they were 5, 6 years behind me. I'd already made a bunch of movies and was actually able to, well, I was earning a good living at that point. So, industry is way different than the 70s and 90s when it comes to post-secondary education. Absolutely, techniques. I agree. Good morning, SC1. By the way, October the 18th, I believe, Wyvern Gaming, the creators of the Stargate role-playing game, they're doing another one of our sessions. So we're gonna play a game. It's Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. That's basically the engine, the gaming engine. We are gonna play. I think it's me. It's David Blue, his friend Alexis, I believe. I'm not sure who else. David Reed, I think. It's a bunch of people, but Wyvern Gaming has arranged this. I think as sort of part of their Kickstarter thing. I'm not sure what do they need for Kickstarter. I haven't actually looked at their Kickstarter. I said I'd do a little video for them, but I feel weird about asking for money for a Stargate game. It feels like I don't know. I'm too busy asking for money for Tech Bandits. But I'm very supportive of what they're doing because first off, I like them, and also the game was really fun. I got to say, like I played it. I played one. They would call it an episode, but it really is. It's like you get to write your own episode of Stargate. So I really, really enjoyed it. Oh, it's funded already? Oh my God. Well, that's great. Um, all right. If not, then let's make sure they Kickstarter. What is it? Stargate. Well, I'll just put Stargate. I'm sure that will come up with something. There you go. New role playing game just funded itself in under 4 hours. What the? Seriously? In under 4 hours. Holy crap! Wow. Well, that's pretty great. Um, wow. Oh, good for them. Holy crap. That's insane. 4 hours. Well, I mean, I knew it was. I knew it makes total sense. It's basically a way to write your own. You know, it's a way of writing your own episodes. Why can I not? Oh my God, they're terrible at their links. Come on, Kickstarter. What the? Uh, there we go. All right, what were they looking for? So they were looking for 30. Whoa. So they were looking for $44,000 as the goal. They are currently at $124,000. Wow. So what are their? I wonder what their stretch goals are then. Um, Back it because you believe it for $10. I see. Okay. I mean, look. Oh yeah. If you're gonna get you get the role playing game and everything. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. So look, I played the game. I freaking love it. I think they've done a really good job of sort of adapting the fifth edition D&D stuff to it. David Blue would probably be a better person to ask about this. He seems to do more of it than I do, but of Dungeons and Dragons. But he's going to play with us as well. Um, it's just fun because you just get to be. I got to, McKay got to be a giant green warrior like you would want to be, and so it was fun. All right, see that alone would be assigned to the powers that be that people are willing to invest in Stargate content. Yeah, except at 100 and something thousand dollars, that's not even an episode of Stargate. I mean, if you think about it, I'm both a Star Trek fan and Stargate. In fact, I'm currently building the Daedalus and Space Engineers. Ooh, nice, nice work, SC1. You should check out. You should check out the Stargate network because they've got a whole immersive Atlantis that they've built as well. So you have a look at that. I don't know if they've got the Daedalus in there or not. I'm sure. David, you consider getting a role for Baz in some commercial, something small. I remember he said he wasn't interested in acting, but maybe if he tried once, he might like it. Plus, get some extra cash for giving. Okay, Offset. Here you go. Let me give you my tirade about child actors. I think at a time when they're supposed to be learning to be responsible grown-ups, they're being rewarded both financially and emotionally for being brats, basically. So they're basically being rewarded for being little kids when they should be learning how to be adults. So I don't. I'm glad I didn't get into it earlier than I did, and that was 16. So I was professionally acting at 16. I was doing my own stuff with my friends. Um, when I was about 13. So I was definitely acting as a kid, but at 16, even then, I felt like it really messes with your sense of a lot of things. First off, money, because you get a large amount of money for doing very little. And I think it really skews your sense of how to earn a living. Like, most people work on a regular basis, they earn a reasonable amount of money, and so they earn their money as they go along. Acting is a bit like a lottery. So you suddenly get a job, and it's like, oh my God, I'm not rolling in money, but I got more money than I've had in months, and then you tend to overspend it, and you forget to do taxes, and actors are awful at finances. But again, you have this sort of like all or nothing approach to earning a living. So I feel like I would rather he had like a real job or even in the streaming stuff. The thing I like about the streaming thing for him is that to me it's just as unrealistic him coming to me and saying he wants to be a streamer when he grows up as it was for me going into my dad and saying I've quit high school and I'm going to be an actor. So I feel like I don't want to dismiss it. I do want to take it seriously and I do want to help him if I can. But I do not want to have him feel that I want him to be an actor. First off, I don't. I don't want him to be an actor. I really don't. I would not wish this lifestyle on many people. I think there's some people it's perfect for. I think it's worked very very well for me, but I also feel like it's yeah. I've always said I love acting and I hate being an actor. I love doing the work and all that stuff. I even like I even like the auditions now that I can do them at home. But I hate the business. I hate the way it works. I hate the there's no science to it. Like it bothers me that there's no way to like if I do this, this and this, then this happens. There's no way of doing that with acting. It's all about like I don't know, let's just see what happens. And it's very lottery like. I think one of the reasons why I sort of sheltered in technology and computers and that side of stuff is that it is very much a control. You've got control over that. You have no control over your future as an actor until I guess you reach a certain level when you can start saying yes or no to stuff. But that's first off, that's really rare, and also, I just anyway. So I don't want him to feel like I think that it's important for him to act. So that's why I haven't done that. We had when he was younger. He's not he himself, but we've been offered to have him in things before, and I've said no because I just felt like I want to wait for him to make that decision himself. Um, that said, what's the difference? He's online doing his own stuff that way. So I just I'd rather he had that. I think there's a wonderful opportunity here with the streaming stuff where he could be, I was saying like, look, learn how to edit. If you learn how to edit, you could do some editing for me. People will say, hey, who does your editing? I say, yeah, my son does the editing. You should hire him to do. There you go. You got a job. And if he doesn't want to do that, I'm sure one of the other Tech Bandits would. And one of the things I want to do with Tech Bandits from the gaming standpoint is I'd like to help kids start communicating themselves like that. I mean, James Gurney is a great example. They've got a system in England where, if you're getting, I can't remember if it's grants or scholarships or whatever it is, where you have to give back to the community that the government's giving you money to learn. And so James started doing a bunch of videos about viruses and his interest in sort of the microbiology side of stuff. I discovered him that way with our friend Q Dragon, who I haven't spoken to for ages, and I really should. Q Cooking with Q, wonderful. Check him out. But yeah, so James got into it, and he was basically on the job learning how to communicate science and biology, and he was learning how to communicate as you can tell, I have not learned with people. He was educating people, he was entertaining people, and he was learning that process himself. I'm sure if you ask him, he will tell you that was, a huge help in his education, right? And also, he's a massive nerd. But yeah, but James, I mean, your videos were great. I mean, they were fun to watch. They made complicated stuff more understandable. He's now working with Kurtzgesagt on their videos as well. So I mean, I think and also I think for Baz's standpoint, the idea of like being a part of this community and working in it on a regular basis, I think would be really good. So now you got it. It's 90% of the waving your hands is purposely. That's it. That's it. That's acting, isn't it? It's all right. It's a lot of yeses and no. A lot of and yeah, a lot of that. Like I've discovered, I've been doing a lot of looking suspicious lately, and I noticed that's a lot of hands in pockets. Hmm? Yeah, suspicious. Networking, half the equation. Yeah, I guess maybe short Zelda. I don't know. Is it networking, James? I think it's the work. Do the work. Do the work, and if you love what you're doing, the network creates itself. I mean, with acting, I just did what I love doing. And I was lucky enough. I started working sort of professionally a little bit before the guys who were making the stuff that I was working with did, so that when I did their films, it helped them as well. And then they made bigger films, and it helped me. And then we just went back and forth. I mean, I think it's such a great system. It really worked out well for me. But again, I got into acting because I wanted to act, and I feel like if my parents were actors and stuff, I don't think I'd ever really know whether that was my decision or theirs. And I think the fact that neither of my parents really wanted me to be a professional actor for a living. My mother was very supportive and actually forced me off to my first audition. So I've just negated that entire conversation. But really, it was about I wanted to do it and I was scared, and she pushed me to do my first audition, and that made all the difference because once you'd done it once, it was not scary anymore. Jokes aside, doing those videos made me multiple times better communicating in my day-to-day job. Also, I got to work with really cool people like David. What, me? Oh, me? The folks at Kurtzgesagt and my buddy Miles. Yeah, who's Miles? Um, Anyways, but yeah, James, perfect example. Perfect example of that. I feel like there are skills that the kids can use from streaming and from YouTube and being online that they will use in their lives, whether this is something they do or not. So I feel that those are skills that Baz should learn. I think all kids should know how to edit, should know how to stream, should know how to present themselves and their ideas in a fun and easily communicated way. These are skills that are absolutely essential in modern life, and even better if you can do it online as well, especially the way things are going. I mean, so much stuff is being done online now. So, yes, classic, very fun. Corn flour. We've had a stall at an open day where the kids could mix ND, make their own putty, and make their own putty. What, like a Newtonian fluid type thing? Is that what we're doing? Got to get back to work. Sybil, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for skipping your work to join us. It's a pleasure. I was always happy when they could come back asking for more to show their little brothers, especially. What was that? Oh, right, Maria's here. I keep forgetting Maria's here. Which reminds me, at 2 o'clock, I promised my wife I would stop at 2. She says, "You've got to stop at 2 today. There's things to do." I did 2 years of university, but refused to get into debt for school, and summer jobs were not adding up. So I decided to take a year off. After I started working, I started to have people with degrees reporting to me. So I kept investing in my specific knowledge areas outside of school, and now I don't see a reason why I would ever return to formal education. Ah, well done. So Bertley, look, I mean, just to be clear, I am in no way against university and formal education. But I see a future where you don't go to university, you subscribe to university, because I feel like things are changing so fast. If you really do love what you're doing and you are interested in keeping up to date, I mean, PacMom will bear me out on this, I'm sure as well. You're constantly looking into what's happening in your industry and around your industry and how the different things will affect your industry. So, university is not about going somewhere for 4 years and coming out and going like, great, I am now a whatever. I think that I look forward to a time when that will be sort of more of an ongoing process for people. Um, on the job training, I think is invaluable. Like I learned everything about acting by being on set. Honestly, I mean that's a lot of people went to film school, theater school, all those kind of things. Honestly, I think in many cases, if you've got sometimes people like my little sister, Kate. Kate needed to go to theater school. I said, "Don't go to theater school. Waste of freaking time. You're already a great actor. What are you worried about?" And the reality is that I was wrong. She needed to go. She needed to go because she needed that for herself. She needed to feel like she had that background to go and to become an actor. So that's great. It's just I mean like I no judgment there, a lot of judgment there. But for me it wasn't. I wanted to be a movie star. Like I wanted to be a movie star. I didn't even. Most people wanted to do theater and then they get into film and TV and stuff. I just wanted to be a movie star like so badly. I wanted to make movies. I loved making movies. I still, to this day, I feel most alive when I'm on set. The only thing that has rivaled it recently is this stuff. And that's why I think I'm so sort of hooked on it, is this feels a bit like being on set. I don't know why, what the connection is, but it's just, I think it's just being around people who are interested in the same kind of stuff and things. So, Kate, are you going to invite her to do a stream? I've invited her a million times. No, actually, I don't think I have. Yeah, I should probably invite her, but she's also really busy. Kate's always working. Um, last part what was it? I auditioned for You Can't Do That on television once and got red carded at the last part of the audition. What does that mean? And what is You Can't Do That on television? I don't even know what that is. Techniques. So you did an audition of some sort? All you productive people, I'm laying in bed still. It's 1:30 p.m. here. Kids are on online classes still, so I have another hour until I have to be a person to help with homework. His river song. No guilt. Enjoy. Kick back. Like that's the point. Um, Aaron Cross. Yeah, I'm happy that I didn't have to pay for my degree, seeing as I'm not using it. If I was in debt now, I'd be pissed. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that's the other thing is, do you really want to? I mean, do you really want to get that much in? You gotta know what you're getting into. Bob's 381 says, "How did you get an agent?" So very different for me than it is now. Back then, you had to basically convince them to come and see something you were in. I was again a bit of ahead of the curve on this stuff because whereas most people would sort of walk in with a photo and resume, if they even had photos back then, because they had photos back then, okay, but I mean proper professional photos were expensive back then because there weren't digital cameras in the Jurassic era. So, so in my case, I walked in with what I would have walked in was I would have walked in with a piece of paper that said what I'd done on it, which was very little, and then I would do a monologue for them, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do Soliloquio, which is sort of a site just for monologues, and of course I've done nothing for that, and I feel very guilty. But that's part of the ADHD thing too. It's just taking on way too much and then not getting it done and feeling bad about yourself. So, but the idea was you would do a monologue, and they would go, "Wow, he's amazing," or "Oh boy, he needs some work," and and then they could sort of say from that whether they thought they were somebody you were somebody that they would represent. I was very lucky because I had been working with my friends on these little films. I actually had a demo reel. Like nobody had a demo reel. Nobody could afford a demo reel. But my friends were making little movies, and they would go and we had you could use at Women in Film and Television here. You could get their giant editing suite. We used to use these massive, inch tapes, VHS tapes, and you could switch them and rewind and fast forward and edit them together onto another tape. Very lengthy and expensive process, but their system was not used from about 10 p.m. till I think it was like 7 a.m. So I used to go in with my friends, and we used to edit my demo reels along with their movies from 10 p.m. till 7 a.m. Like up all night doing this stuff, having just the best time and getting like fun music and cutting it all together. So I had this like kick-ass demo reel before I'd even had a professional job. So I was very, very lucky. So I walked in and go, there's my, not knowing, I just assumed everyone had this. I gave them a little VHS tape of this thing that I had, and they're like, oh, yes, we'll represent you. So I got an agent based on that. And the reason why they said yes to see me in the first place was I was doing a play. I did a play called, oh my God, Spring Awakening. Frank Wiedekind's Spring Awakening, amazing play. Not the musical, the original sort of translated from German play. And so there's a number of us kids involved in that. So we were all looking for agents at the same time, and I happened upon this wonderful, wonderful woman who did that for me. Who is that? I'm being texted and things. Oh dear, what's going on? Sorry, just checking in, making sure my child hasn't been sent home from school or anything. What is that then? I've got messages. Sorry, folks. Got to check my messages. All right. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Oh my God, my friend thinks he's got COVID. That's wonderful. Luckily, he's also a hypochondriac like me, so there's a chance that he may just be. Yeah, we'll see. So yes, so because of the demo reel, I got an agent. And I got in to see the agent because of a play that I'd done. Nowadays, I would say no one has an excuse not to have a demo reel, because if you haven't done anything, film something. Like seriously, get a friend. Like the point of a demo reel is to pick the best parts of your acting performance in whatever you've done. So just film a few performances. Like literally, just we got a camera right here. You could literally set up the camera with or without a friend, and just find a monologue from one of the plays, from a play. I wouldn't do a play. Maybe I would do like your favorite TV show. Like, is there get a great monologue from the Doom Patrol, or from The Boys, or from Stargate Atlantis, or whatever, and just do it. Do it to camera. Get a great performance of that. Maybe if you want to get fancy, do a wider shot and a closer shot so you can cut back and forth in it. Maybe you want to put in a little bit of music. I mean, again, this is what I'm saying. Learn how to edit. Learn how to do a little bit of, a little bit of post-production stuff, and you can make yourself look like a freaking superstar with a freaking iPhone. So that's absolutely my suggestion. And I wonder if maybe I should do a series on this or something, because I feel like I get asked this all the time, how to get into it, and it's weird to me that it's a surprise to people that the online world is such a part of it. I guess because people see it separately. I know that Barnacules was saying like, oh my God, it's like this acting people are coming into the online world, and the online world all wants to be actors, and the reality is it's the grass is always greener, right? It always seems like there's stuff to do. Everything always feels better. The grass always looks greener somewhere else. So I think that's the thing. Yeah, techniques, Edison Twins. Edison Twins was the first job I ever had. So when I say I was 16 years old and I got my first job, that was it. Edison Twins was it. And I had auditioned for one of the Edison Twins, and I was devastated that I didn't get it. Absolutely. How could they not cast me? It wasn't even that. It was just I thought that meant failure. So I was really upset. And then I got a phone call and they said, "Well, we loved your audition. Can you play this other part?" And it was just a Howard the bully, and I was terrible. But the reality was, I realized that was like it was a great lesson to learn right away. Is it's like it doesn't if you didn't get the part, who cares? They've seen you do your best work. They will, if it's the kind of thing they need, they will remember you. And every audition you do, you just get better at this stuff. I mean, so. All right, is there a website with the Stargate Atlantis monologues? There isn't. I mean, so Stargate Girl Sophie, there isn't, although I'm sure there must be. You know what? If you go to gateworld.net and look up quotes, you'll probably find this. They've probably got a bunch of like good quotes in there, and you can even string a bunch of them together. You can even write your own. I mean, that's the other thing is you can literally combine your love of fan fiction, cosplay, and acting, and film your own stuff. I mean, one of the things I talked about with Jane was doing like a camp or a retreat where people could come in and we could work on them like talk like look at them and say, okay, so what kind of roles are you going to be playing? These are the kind of what kind of stuff do you want to do? What are the shows that are on right now? This is probably good advice. Probably. Surprising coming from me. Oh, Stargate Wiki has all the transcripts. There you go, Stargate lover. Thank you. That's Stargate Girl Sophie. You've got that. So if you what was I going to say? Shoot. Right. So my thought was you could look at an actor and say, and as actors should do themselves, and say, okay, this is the kind of role I see them playing. It's not always what they want to be playing, is the other thing. Some people are like, oh, I want to get thinner and more fit and I'll be an action hero. I'm like, well, whatever. Look at yourself now. The reality is that, what are the types of roles that you are going to play because this just comes down to looks. Like it's really there is no way around it until you reach like the stratosphere of acting. Do they allow you to start putting crap on your face and changing how you look and doing the whole Daniel Day Lewis stuff? So you want to find out the kind of roles you're going to get because you also have to earn a living. And then my advice would be either steal a couple of monologues from them or write something similar to the kind of roles you think would be right. We did this with a friend of ours the other a year or so ago, where I said, look, you're going to play. Chances are right now there's an awful lot of you know horrible college kids in these shows, like bullies and date rapists and racists, and like he's a good looking sort of he can look quite sort of jocular kind of white kid. And I was like, these are the kind of roles. I said, or superheroes. So like, you could be, like on the Flash or on the Boys or any of that kind of stuff. So there's just like to look at the shows that are out there that are casting and say, I want to be in that. So let's find some roles that you could do. Nobody cares. They don't, I mean, they just want to see, people don't, you go to an audition, they want you to be right for the role because then they finish their job. They've done their job and everyone's happy. So they want you to be right for it. They don't care, I mean, make sure it's of quality, make sure it looks good, make sure the sound is fantastic and it looks, reasonable. You don't have to pretend that it's actually from a show, but it just also shows, it shows that you are willing to do the work. And it puts you just a little bit further ahead of those who just show up and go like, what am I supposed to say? What audition am I doing here type thing. So don't do what Christian Bale does, being fit for Psycho, then emaciated for the Mechanist, then being fit again for Batman, then fat for American Hustle. Yeah, I mean, there's some actors who love that sort of transformative quality to the acting. I've always loved the idea of that, but it's just not, that's not who I am, and it's not the roles I get. So I've been in a few roles, but it's hard getting the reels. I did his Dark Materials, which is a fantastic show. Oh my God, Bob's, that'd be fantastic. Well, then again, so Bob's, so great. Then you've got stuff to put on your resume, and they look at your resume and they go, oh, how was that? That's great. You've also got a demo reel. So I literally wondered about doing like a camp, like about a camp about that. I want to be the camp leader who gives everyone notes. Act better. That's 90% of my notes. Yes. Or my favorite Guillermo del Toro direction was David. I don't know why he's for some reason from Bulgaria. Just say your line and go hide in the corner. That was That's my favorite direction for him. I'm with Universal, but they don't like sharing. Yeah, it's very difficult to get stuff. Look, I don't get stuff until it's out, honestly. Like, so I'll often just, I will, I'll often like buy the video and then I'll rip it or something so I can pull the clips that I want out of it. If I listen to people around, the girl you sure will be there and is reliable. LOL. If I listen to people around me, I guess the girl who will be there and reliable. Yeah. So you want to find there's sort of two things you want to do. You want to show range to some extent, but honestly, they don't give a crap if you can play two different roles. They just want to know if you can play the role that they're trying to cast right now. And the beauty of now, in a way, especially for you, Bob's, by the sound of it, is that you could provide them with a demo reel that you've created yourself that is tailored to the role that you're going for, if you've got time. The other problem with auditions, honestly, is you get told at 7 p.m. that you have a 12-page audition that they need by 10 a.m. tomorrow, and I get angry, and sometimes I do it, and sometimes I just don't want to go buzz off. But then again, I'm in that position now, so that's I'm sort of that's a I'm fortunate enough to be in that position. But for the most part, I like the auditions because that's the acting part, right? That's when you get to act, and you're not acting with like a casting agent who's trying to tell you stuff which may or may not be right or whatever. Like I mean, there's an old story about me auditioning for the Atlantis. I mean, I'd done SG1. They asked me to come in to audition for this new one, and I was auditioning for a different role, but I knew just from the fact that people stopped me on the street and asked me if I was the guy from Stargate from 2 episodes or whatever it was, that I wasn't gonna be a different person on Stargate. I took the risk that I was. Thank you. I took the risk that they were going to go with me as McKay. Now, if I was wrong, then I wouldn't have got the part. But I was pretty convinced that that made the most sense. So even though the role was not written to sound like McKay, I did it like McKay. And the poor casting agent, who is not being told that this guy is going to be McKay, was like, well, it sounds an awful lot like McKay. Maybe you could sort of tone that down a bit or whatever. And I was like, yeah, sure, sure. And then completely ignored him. So it was a gamble, a big gamble. And he was very, very good about it. Because he could have just said, you know what, yeah, we lost the tapes. I don't know what to do with that kid. But you know, I think he enjoyed it. But I just made it very clear to them that that's how I was going to do it, and as it turns out, it was perfect. So he's forever remembered. Thank you, Stanny Lazy, like Stanislavski. Thank you. Yeah, McKay was a fantastic role. McKay was an absolutely fantastic role. What else we got? Any chance you'll ever work with Oh yeah, amazing stuff, isn't it? Yeah, a legend. It really is. I mean, Denis fantastic. I mean, I love his stuff. On Drizzly R. Look, here's the thing. I work on what I can work on. Like that's for the most part. I don't. You know, I like generally it's what is it, art, location, or money. I've also added friends because it's like art, location, money, or friends. Sometimes you just want to help people out, and if it helps them out by you being in their show or their television's movie or feature movie or play or whatever, sometimes you just do it for that reason. I mean, there's a couple of people who run production companies around here who will call up and say, I've got a role coming up. Would you consider doing it? It's not a lot of money or whatever. And I almost always, no, I don't always, but quite a lot of the times I say yes. If I'm free and there's nothing else I should be doing or I feel I should be doing, then I say yes because, why not? I mean, why not help them out? So yeah, what if I could do like some kind of online acting thing? That could be kind of neat. I never thought of myself as an acting teacher. I never took acting classes myself. So I mean, I did as a kid. I did like acting camp, I think once, and got cast as Friar Tuck. How prescient was that? So I feel like I don't know that I could teach people how to act, but I do feel like I would almost call it like acting 3.0, where it's like how do you it's not even like how to act so much as how do you live as an actor in today's sort of in today's modern world, and maybe that's a good fundraiser. There you go. Maybe I could do a couple of classes of that and see if that helps pay for some Tech Bandit stuff. Um, Uh, yeah, the coaching stuff again. I have no judgment there. Like some people like and enjoyed that. I just always felt like I was already so much in my head. The biggest thing for me, the hardest thing for me, still to this day, is ignoring the camera. Is trying to get used to not like trying to work, trying to be hyper aware of the camera, so that everything you're doing is being seen properly by that camera and whatever the selected lens is and lighting and whatever depth of field stuff and all that fun tech stuff, which I frankly almost enjoy more than the act. I almost enjoy talking about the technical stuff more than I do about the acting, because the acting I truly feel it's like it's a bit like one of those wind up thing dolls. I feel like I just go and then as long as I know my lines, it just sort of it's a it's a it's almost like a chemical reaction. You just don't know where it's going to go. So, and I like that. I sort of prefer that. Whereas some people are very big on working things out and mapping things out and all this kind of stuff. I feel like I don't, I don't, I go entirely with just instincts and reacting to whatever comes up. So that's how I work it. Um, Improv is supposed to be amazing stuff. Apparently, is improv. I have not really done it in any real sense, but it would be a fun thing to do. I think. Fumbles Look Stupid was on D Geek. Very good. Yes. Ah, D Geek. That was fun, wasn't it? This is like a live D Geek now. So those things always make me give blooper reels and actor looks directly at the camera. Yeah, I do a lot of that when I screw up. Improv is hard. Yeah, improv is very hard. It's also very random and very scary. Scenes of a cluster conversation with the camera circling the group while they're talking must be hard. Yeah, that can be. That is a. It's a little lazy in a way. I've used that in directing, where you're at a time and you don't have time to cover everybody. So you just go, okay, everyone talk in a circle, and I'll circle around you, and it's just a way of getting everyone's face on camera for a little bit and a little bit of geography. So it's a cheap trick for getting film shot. James Gurney, go break a robot. Enjoy. I've got 10 minutes left. Thank you, James. James obviously much better at scheduling than me. The Nick says Stargate Girl Story. It's a line from one of the best episodes of SGA. Thank you for sharing all that. It does help hearing it from a pro. It's so weird being a pro. I don't feel like a pro. I still feel like a 14-year-old kid dreaming of Hollywood. Hey, so the scene with you and Joe when you first got the personal shield and he's like, "I shot him." Was that improv? No, 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 no. Again, almost most of the Cal professional dinosaur Cal. That's what they meant. Professional dinosaur. Pac Bum, yes. James Gurney, go fix a robot. It's like our new insult. Oh, go fix a robot. Cal, go fix a robot. So we didn't do a lot of improv on Stargate. First off, the writers are quite precious about their lines. They do not, they have written them, they've worked this stuff out, and quite justifiably, and they're very good. They don't like you changing stuff. As simple as that. I try my utmost not to change lines because I feel like my job is to take the script as it is and do what I can to make it work. That may be, maybe sort of working against myself sometimes because there's some scripts that's very difficult. I find the worse it's written, the harder I have to work on remembering the lines. But Stargate, I mean, they start writing for you. After once they know who you are, it's much easier to write for the characters. So there was a lot of the lines sort of tripped off my tongue very, very, very McKay like, because they were very Hewlett like, because the writers know me and know what I'm like, and I know the writers know what they're like. So there was often a lot of stuff, that I could sort of glean from just having conversations with the writers themselves. Um, you know, uh, you have to be Richard Dean Anderson. This is a great story about Richard Dean Anderson. Quickly before I have to go, I'll tell you a story about RDA. So RDA, and I've told this before, and I apologize for those of you who haven't heard it, but if you have, well, tough luck. I'm telling it again, and it's probably different and more exciting this time. So on a plane flying from LA to Vancouver, coming up for the first episode of Stargate Atlantis. So kind of nervous, kind of excited, kind of just left my new girlfriend Jane, who we were just moving in together. And literally, we hadn't even unloaded the boxes, and I got Stargate and said, "I'm gone for 9 months. Sorry." So I'm on this plane. RDA is beside me on the plane. So I'm like, I'm sitting next to MacGyver. So I'm freaking out. And I'm like, okay, all right, focus on what's important. Focus on what's important. So I pull out my script and I'm like going through the lines. I'm highlighting stuff. I'm like jotting little things down here. There's a few things I didn't remember from the last time I was on SG1. So I was like, look up this, look up that. And then I look over and he looks over and he sort of nodded. And I was like, and again, he hadn't talked to me, so I didn't feel like it was my place to talk to him. Actors, we're the same. We're all the same. We're just human, right? So, and in this case, a human nerd. So kind of geeking out. Um, and I mean, we'd met before because we'd worked together on SG1, but it was, the guy probably gets bugged all the time. I figured leave him alone. So he sort of looks over and reaches into his very, cool looking little satchel and pulls out two sheets of fax paper, that nice thin paper and he sort of lays them down and flattens them down on his little business class, food, food tray, and he takes out a pen. He's like, and he scratches out the first line, just right away, just scratches it out. And he looks at the next one. He just scratches out half of it, and then just underlines the last part. And the last one, he just sort of scratches that one out too. And he looks at the next page, he's got nothing to say, puts it down. And he looks at me and he says, get them wrong, they stop giving them to you. And I was so taken. I was like, God, that's so, in a way, that's so brilliant. But I did the absolute opposite. I instead got them all right, and they kept giving them to me. So, but again, I've made my career on talking fast and talking science, and it's been wonderful. And if we all did what RDA did, it would be a very, very silent show. But RDA can also get away with that stuff, as you say. So that was my introduction to RDA and to Stargate. As a member of the team type thing. The other one, of course, was Amanda Tapping, lovely Amanda Tapping, who came up and said, "Are you ready for this?" And I was like, "I think so." And she's like, so I thought that was kind of cute. Yes, RDA has a lot of leeway on that stuff. Cannon Fodder, how are ya? Hello to you. You've come into the end of the stream, my friend. I'm just wrapping up. I got like 4 minutes. I do love him. McKay was my favorite. Well put, My River Song. It's the same for Cal. Cal feels the same way. I think that what makes McKay so great is that he's probably the most real and human character of the Stargate franchise, and people can relate to him on so many levels. And a great part of it comes from your force. Oh, thank you very much. Well, look, I mean, I've always said I'm not that good an actor that I can become other people. What I tend to do is just highlight aspects of myself, and I think we can all lay claim to a certain amount of McKay. I think we're all on the McKay spectrum. It's just about how much and what elements of McKay you sort of embrace. So I feel like, I just basically, I highlighted my arrogance. I highlighted my social ineptitude. I highlighted my frustration with other people, and it was a wonderful thing to do. And I gotta say, everyone keeps saying, like, when's it coming back? God, I would love it to come back. That would be fantastic. So I don't spend every day crying about it, but I feel very fortunate to have done it. I probably wouldn't be able to do this. I'd be talking to two people it'd just be me and Cal if I hadn't done Stargate. So it's opened up so many opportunities for me, and it's extraordinary. They are memories that I will have all my life, and I love that my son watches them with me now, somewhat begrudgingly at times. Which reminds me, Sunday, 2 p.m., we'll be watching the next episode of Stargate Atlantis together. I don't know if, apparently David Blue is doing one on Saturday for SGU, and he's doing Amazon Prime Watch. I wondered if that's something I can do. I haven't really looked. I don't think it's available for us here on Stargate Atlantis. But anyways, so it's bring your own Stargate Atlantis, and then Baz and I will argue throughout it, probably more so than anything this weekend. Don't tell him he's in trouble. And what else there? Yeah, so 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Sunday, we will be seeing the next episode, which is what? I keep asking this, but I really don't know. Damn it, I can't make it on Sunday. Well, here's the other thing, Stargate Lover. What I do, I record them as well. So I just, I put them on YouTube after. I'll check in with Joe. If he's around. Maybe he can do it. But I'll check. I think you can do it on Amazon. You need that MGM subscription. What? You need an MGM subscription? I got to pay more to watch my own show together? But then wait a sec. So if I do that though, can I stream it? No, I can't stream it. I can only do it on Amazon, right? Yeah. Chosen quarantine and he's bored. No kidding. Two BD two. No, it's two Eastern Daylight Time, not Pacific Daylight Time. I'm out in Toronto, so it's the Eastern Time. MGM's kind of weird. MGM is yeah, MGM is a weird and multi-tentacled beast, I'd have to say. It's not an Amazon Watch Party. That's not what we've been doing. We've just been doing basically evil people who will remain nameless have sometimes actually streamed their own copy of the thing on Discord. But I think TOS is vague on what on showing films on Twitch. Yeah, I don't. I'm look. I think someone else might get away with it. I don't think I would, if that makes sense. Yeah, on Video Prime Video, I just spend $4 a month for MGM content. MGM's got a lot of content. It might be worth it. But then wait a sec. But I still can't show you that. Yeah, I still can't show you that. Yeah, forget it. Cal says, "Don't risk it. I forbid it." Look, there's always someone who happens to have an open Discord channel showing it. And honestly, we do so much talking through the thing that you probably won't even get a chance to watch it anyway. So you might even want to like watch it live with us, so you can throw some questions in, and I might answer some stuff. And on the other hand, then you can also, if you want to, take the one that we've recorded. We sort of archive them on. I archive them on YouTube, and then if you want to, you could actually watch the show and just run our commentary in the background. So Cannon Fodder's collecting all the DVDs. I didn't get this. I didn't have all the DVDs. I had to buy. I bought the Apple iTunes version of them all because I didn't have. I was missing like a couple of series of DVDs. So it's the problem with being on a show is you forget to watch it. There's always someone who accidentally streams it on Discord. Exactly in Monero. There's always somebody who accidentally. So we'll just make sure that we call out whoever accidentally streams it, and we'll go from that. But if I accidentally streamed it, I'd accidentally go to jail. So I always wondered what would happen if the show, a star of a show, did something like that. Yeah, they get in trouble. Like we would get in a, you know, I'm sure I would get in a lot of trouble for that because again, it's even if it's making money for Tech Bandits, it's still effectively me taking money away from MGM. So, Third Eye Storytelling. I'm very glad you enjoyed the stream. Everyone should check out Third Eye Storytelling, who's also doing a lot of a lot of content online as well. So I will permit Third Eye. Oops, if I could find my mouse and click on the right part of the screen. Yeah, let's just permit Third Eye here. There you go. May end up missing Sunday. Sadly, have to catch up with the recordings. All right, here's River Song. We'll try not to talk too much about you while you're not, while you're not there. I will, as I say, yeah, I'll make them available as well on the YouTube channel. So, and there's a bunch of them already on there. If people want to go back and look at some of the old ones we've done a number of them now. I don't remember what number we're up to now. Did we decide what? Wait a second. Did we decide what episode we're watching? Did someone put that in there already? Meh. Meh. Do we know? Do we know? Do we know? Do we know? Anyone? Anyone? What episode are we on? T minus 2 minutes, David. Oh yeah, that's right. So I don't. Oh, over. I'm already over by 2 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, so the watch party is only available in the U.S. No, I mean, as long as you're awake, you can watch it. Techniques. So all we're doing is. Oh, wait a sec. Watch what party? What? Oh, David Blues is only available in the U.S. Oh, screw that. We're doing it our way. So what we're gonna do is we will watch it. Somebody mentioned Sanctuary. Did they? Really? Amazon feature watch party. Yeah. Oh, I've arrived just as the stream is ending. It's true, Karem. I'm so sorry, Karem. We waited as long as we could for you, but then I have to go. Are you playing Ark much anymore? Not really. Have you played the guy? No, I haven't. The server cluster I'm on just added it to one of the maps. I haven't tried it yet. Baz has not done Ark for a while. In fact, both Cal and I have said to Baz that maybe he should pick a couple of games and stick to them. Oh, Sanctuary. There you go. So the next episode is Sanctuary. There you go. I was like, Sanctuary, like the show? Okay, so Sanctuary. Sanctuary is the name of the show. That is the episode we're doing. So it's Stargate, Atlantis, Sanctuary. And now I'm going to have to say a fair and adieu to you all because I promised my wife that I would end at 2 o'clock. And so I will end at 2 o'clock. You only have 60 seconds when given permission. Oh, sorry, Third Eye. Hang on, let me do it. I'll do it again for you. There you go. Done. Third Eye Storytelling. Your link is ready. So again, I'm sorry to do this, but I have to. Thank you, DStat. sponsorship level Patreon, all of the Patreons. Jonathan, our most recent CNC guy, can't believe he's offered to cover the cost of a big full size CNC system that we could start building some fun stuff with. So, and speaking about building, I must build my Prusa. Yes, Patreon sponsors, thank you all. Thank you to everyone. There's also thetechbandits.com is the website. There's a donation section there as well. If anyone wants to just throw some cash, that's fantastic. Again, it all just goes to the Tech Bandit stuff, all in the form of whether it's internet connections or little switchers and stuff like I'm playing with now, so that I can do multiple cameras. And yeah, it's amazing what you make possible, and I really appreciate it because it's kind of fun. I kind of enjoy it. And I've only got a couple more days left on this film, so I've got I filmed Thursday next week, Thursday the week after, and then I'm done on that. I may do another one right after. I'm not sure. We'll see if I can be talked into or not. But yes, lovely catching up with you. Thank you all, both new and old. Much appreciated. I shall now say, as I normally do, until we geek again. Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving. That's right. We got Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend. We're not allowed to go out. They're basically saying, like, happy Thanksgiving, stay at home and don't go out. Because our numbers are like, have just gone up over, like, isn't it like over 900 or something terrifying like that? Krillin, thank you very much. I'm glad. Look, I love these streams. I did this stream purely for me today because I was like, you know what, I need to pick me up, and you've done it. Thank you. And now I've got to go pick up a sandwich because I'm starving. All right, so till we geek again, cheerio, and as the newly dog is called, the newly dog, the newly named dog? The newly named dog. Anyways, point being, huzzah!